If you want to be super competitive in your marketplace today, without question, you need to become a master at telling your story. Now, what does that involve? To me, there are three distinct messages you have to become awesome at. The first message is your credibility statement, your elevator pitch. The second is your uniqueness statement, and the third is your features and benefits. Let me take a few moments and drill down on each. So you're at a networking function, and they go around the table and everybody has to introduce themselves. And they say, okay, Mary, it's your turn. What do you say? Do you say the same thing over and over and over again? Or do you say something different? Or do you say something that's completely irrelevant that nobody's going to remember? You see, that's an opportunity that you have to take advantage of. And the only way you do that is to have a dynamic, crisp credibility statement, or what we call the elevator pitch. The second is the uniqueness statement. I think there's probably few questions prospects ask us that put more fear in our hearts than, so why should I choose you over your competition? And the reason is because we typically spend so much time focusing on how to sell what we offer that we don't really think about how we're different from our competition. You know, Thomas Edison had a great line. He said, man will do everything he can to avoid the hardest of all labors, which is think for himself. When it comes to the uniqueness statement, it's all about thinking. Now, very few of us are going to be able to come up with something like a Google algorithm that is truly unique, that you're the only one that possesses it. For most of us, what we're after is we're one of a few, a select few. And put that together with a great ability to tell your story, and that will be more than enough to carry the day. Now, the features and benefits. We've all found ourselves in a situation where the dialogue's going back and forth, and it's jocular, and we're joking, and I'm discovering about your organization, and you're finding a little bit about me personally, and I'm finding a little bit about you personally, and all of a sudden it kind of comes to a halt because they say, so tell us about you, and tell us about why we should purchase your products or services. Now, we've prepared in most cases for this, so it doesn't strike the same kind of panic in our heart that the uniqueness statement question would. But it's an abrupt shift in the conversation where the spotlight is suddenly on us. How good are you at delivering your features and benefits of your products? I want you to remember this. Features tell, benefits sell. For most people, they sell only the features, but we've got to sell the benefits. We've got to customize those features to the customer so that we're speaking the customer language and we're explaining to the customer how they'll benefit from this feature. So if you were to do a quick inventory right now, and you were to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on your credibility statement, 15-second commercial, your uniqueness statement, your features and benefits, what would you give yourself? On your elevator pitch, credibility, 15-second commercial, what would you give yourself? 0 to 10. How about your uniqueness statement? How about your features and benefits? Now, if you gave yourself a low score, I don't want you to be comforted by the fact that most of your competition is in the same boat. But I do want you to be enthused by the fact that if you're willing to put in the time, you'll be able to master that message and you will accelerate past everybody. But really it boils down to, are you willing to put in the time? Here's a good story. So years ago, maybe a decade ago, I was exhibiting at the $1 Million Roundtable in San Diego. We had a big booth with all of our products on display. And a young man comes over and he's looking at our products and he sees the credibility statement 15-second commercial and he's reading and he's like, I like that, I want to buy that. And I was excited because he was the first buyer of the conference. And I said, okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You listen to this CD, you fill out the worksheets, you send it to me, I'll mark it up and send it back. We'll go back and forth until we get it perfect. And he looked, he said, you will? I said, yeah, I will. And guess what? He said, what? I said, you won't do it. And he looked at me, and he probably thought, well, that's a heck of a sales pitch. But you know what? It's been over a decade. I never heard from him. We've all heard the 80-20 rule. It's probably more like the 90-10 rule. At the end of the day, most people aren't in the game to play. What they're going to end up doing is being order takers, or if they're in a good mood, they'll put some effort in. But if they're not in a good mood, they're not going to put the same effort in. Or if they hit some rejection or hit some bumps in the road, they're going to deviate off the highway. The very best, get on the highway, they're prepared, and despite the fact they might hit some bumps in the road, they stay in their lane. So when it comes to telling your story to the marketplace, there are 3 lanes. Your 15-second commercial, credibility statement, your uniqueness statement, and your features and benefit. You master those, and you will blow the competition away.